So earlier the strategic forces, that's the nuclear forces and conventional missiles, were under one command, DGSPD. Now they have separated it out. How we do it is, the strategic decisions are done by the Chiefs of Staff Committee in a collaborative manner. So it's a collective kind of a decision which is taken. In our case, all our ballistic missiles are armed with strategic weapons.
Right.
So India was very careful in doing that. So we have always separated this out. In their case, it was under one. So that was a big error.
Correct.
Which they have rectified now. Like in Operation Sindoor also, we mobilized some assets, etc., which were deployed on the northern borders, got them on the western borders. So these contingency plans are part of operational plans. That's how we take care of these fronts, etc.
Watch that very regularly, and for those of you who may not understand what strategic forces means, it's about nuclear forces or nuclear weapons. And that's something that now, what is in your assessment? Does it constitute concentration of power in one man who's holding the post of CDF, Army Chief, and also commanding the strategic forces, as you mentioned? Does this affect what is conventionally called nuclear stability, or in the deterrence matrix? How does that impact the balance between India and Pakistan?
So I just explained that there's a big difference actually in what we do and how they do things.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll come to that later. First answer what you are trying to say. While I did make a mention that he's created a army rocket force.
Yeah, which is conventional.
Which is conventional. They didn't have this.
Right.
So earlier the strategic forces, that's the nuclear forces and conventional missiles, were under one command, DGSPD. Now they have separated it out. So that I think is a very sensible thing to do, and that's as per global best practices in India also. This will create another layer in the escalation matrix. So it will push the nuclear threshold even higher.
Okay, so it's not come down as
so
some
it's not
people
come
think.
down, it's become more stable, I would say.
Okay.
So that is one. They have concentrated all this power, which I explained. So like land operations, as a chief, you'll have to look at it.
Wearing three different hats, basically.
Yeah, wearing three different hats. So this will create, in my view, a bit of a challenge for them. In our way, how we do it is, the strategic decisions are done by the Chiefs of Staff Committee in a collaborative manner. So it's a collective kind of a decision which is taken. And then, of course, the execution is decentralized. So we are also trying to decentralize more by creating theatre commands, by saying that one chap will be responsible for force generation, one will be for force application. We have also reached to this stage in a very gradual kind of a manner. We did jointness first, spent a lot of effort on that, then looked at integration, and then we are looking at theatre commands. And
which we will come to in a longer
so it's not
time.
A sudden kind of addition.
Exactly. Well, I think our reforms have been in India have been going on for a longer time.
Yes.
In fact, even rocket force, I think you had spoken about it in 2023 or 22. I think it was first spoken about as far as Indian rocket force is concerned. I think they have just gone ahead and announced it. Whether they have populated it, whether they have armed people with rocket force, we don't know in that sense.
No. In our case, all our ballistic missiles are armed with strategic weapons.
Right.
So India was very careful in doing that. So we have always separated this out. In their case, it was under one. So that was a big error.
Correct.
Which they have rectified now. So that's why I'm saying it's a sensible thing which they've done.
Correct.
They should have done it earlier.
Yeah.
Ours has been different. So in our case, our conventional weapons are mounted on cruise, these kind of ammunition, say BrahMos, which is a supersonic missile or cruise vectors. Whereas ballistic missiles, till now, have been only armed with strategic weapons. Now we'll have to see, because we are now entering into an era where I would say that apart from static deterrence, conventional warfare, we are entering into non-nuclear strategic deterrence. That could be a combination of hypersonics, long-range precision missiles, artificial intelligence, all this quantum, all this combined together may create a different kind of a deterrence
That's true.
between the nuclear and this. So
Between
that's
the-
where actually the world is transiting to, which we will transit. So we'll take a call at a particular moment.
Absolutely. But again, coming back to this concentration of power, we said, but in our case, the Chief of Defence Staff in the original mandate did not have any operational role. But Sindoor has shown that, you need to have some kind of an operational role. Do you envisage some kind of changes in our structure? Does CDS need to have some operational role in a conflict? Or otherwise?
Yeah, okay. So let me explain this again.
Yeah.
So the government sanction which created this post of CDS,
Yes.
in our case, says something like this, that the CDS will exercise no military command over the 3 service chiefs.
Right.
So operative word is, I will not exercise military command. So I cannot command the Air Force chief to do X or the Army chief to do Y,
Absolutely.
the Naval chief to do Z. That is not there in our case. That doesn't mean that I don't have operational role, the question which you asked.
Yes.
So I derive an operational role from the Chiefs of Staff Committee, of which I am a permanent chairman. Like in Operation Sindoor, most of the decisions were taken by the Chiefs of Staff Committee, and for which I was the permanent chairman. So here, there is an operational role for me. I also have a direct operational role, or say I supervise things in new domains of warfare. May not be land, maritime, or air, but in space, cyber, cognitive, electromagnetic domain.
These are the
these
new
domains
domains.
directly, because they are under headquarter IDS.
Right.
They are directly under me.
Even the Special Forces division
that
is
AFSOD
also.
also.
AFSOD is also under you.
So these are some domains over which one exercises command directly. I don't exercise direct military command over the other 3.
The 3 chiefs.
Yes.
So IDS, headquarter IDS, through headquarter IDS, you have these new domains that are under
That's
your
right.
command,
Yes.
which you also mentioned cognitive, as one of the new domains that are coming up. And before you came, I was speaking to some of the young people here, which we will come back to with that question. But they had a lot of questions about strategic communication, cognitive warfare. We will come back to that. But government has said Sindoor has not been ended. It is only paused. And, the question in everybody's mind is going to be Operation Sindoor 2.0. Is it going to happen? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm speaking for others. But, one of the challenges which is there is also that 3 nations now combine to fight against India: China, Turkey, and Pakistan. How does one look at future challenge or immediate challenge?
So amongst these 3 countries which you said, one doesn't share a border with us.
Right.
So that's about Turkey.
Correct.
Amongst these 3 countries, there could be military or defense cooperation amongst them, which we keep reading in newspapers. There is no formal military alliance or treaty.
No.
So coming to each other's aid is a different kind of an aid, or different kind of thing, as things stand today. So we must take that into our particular calculus. Sometimes this gets connected with our ability to conduct, 2-front war, 3-front war. People talk about.
Yeah, they do. Yes.
So probably, maybe the part of that question was alluding towards this.
Yes.
So let me also say this, that this particular concept came about in between First and Second World War, when Germany faced one adversary, that's France on one side and Russia on the other side. So they always thought that they could tackle one, then mobilize and tackle the other one. Because of the mobilization differential between them, so they had dual task formation, contingency planning, which of course we also do.
Sure.
So like in Operation Sindoor also, we mobilized some assets, etc., which were deployed on the northern borders, got them on the western borders. So these contingency plans are part of operational plans. That's how we take care of these fronts, etc. As regard the technological cooperation between the 2 countries which you mentioned, one of which doesn't share a kind of a border. So that we need to constantly look at what kind of technologies people are acquiring and how it's going to affect warfare in future. So we are cognizant of that. We're taking cognizance of whatever is happening, and accordingly we are taking measures.
But Talking about technology, I think a lot of times you've spoken about the increasing role of technology in future conflicts. And so related to this is also how much would you think technology is going to play a role in future conflicts, near future and even distant future? And does this also mean that the days of contact warfare are over? And these two questions, one after the other.
No, far from it.
Yeah.
So let me say that, for a long time, military strategy was dependent on geography and terrain. Now that was, you had a secure flank, you were behind an obstacle, etc., etc. You could move faster, deserts gave you protection and all that. Geography was important in military operations, from Panipat to Palasi to everywhere it was so. But now we are at an era where geography is becoming slightly irrelevant. And it's technology which is going to drive kind of a strategy. So that's the big difference.
Sure.
That's happening. And you asked the second
I asked about contact warfare.
Yeah. What happens is, while we are transiting towards this, we may, say that, warfare is moving from contact to non-contact, kinetic and non-kinetic. Such kind of lexicons have come into our physiology. But we must also remember that we have a long disputed border.
Two of them, in fact.
Yeah, okay. Fight in these domains. I must also tell you one more thing, that there are some traditional domains like land, sea and air that we can call as old domains, and we can call as new domains as cyber, space, electromagnetic warfare, cognitive domain. Warfare in the old domains is always brutal, long, it's a slugfest, requires manpower, and we see it in Ukraine, we see it in Gaza, because you had to occupy territory. So that's why it took 4 years, and its people were lost, lives were lost, etc. So it's like this.
Battle of attrition also.
Yes, it's a battle. Whereas in a new domain, warfare is always smarter, faster, and results would be achieved simultaneously. Examples of this are what's happened between us and Pakistan in Operation Sindoor, or what happened between Iran and Israel for 12 days. So that's a different kind of a war. But that doesn't mean that, this contact battle, because we have a disputed border. So we should be preparing for such kind of war, yet avoid it. Prepare and fight a smarter war.
Sure.
After all, we want to be a developed nation by 2047, not by fighting.
Right.
By looking after so many people.
But we have to be prepared for both kinds of wars.
Yes, yes. But avoid that.
Avoid the contact warfare.
That attrition type of
attrition, yeah, exactly. But then does that mean that one could look at, or the government could look at right sizing or optimizing the manpower? I mean, that's another debate that gets generated all the time.
Yeah. So, armed forces always are optimizing.
Okay.
And right sizing. So, as I said, there's new domains like space, cyber, all this, cognitive. We have to create new capabilities for this. So, more manpower required, more resources are required, money is required. So, we spend less on traditional domains. We take out manpower from those traditional domains and put them over.
Reskill them, maybe retrain them?
Yeah. So, suppose we want to expand the space domain. So, there's immediately a requirement of expanding that. I'm looking at manpower from older domains to be transposed over here. So, I would more say it's something like right sizing rather than optimizing. We are optimizing some to create something else new. So they
can be described as right sizing, basically.
Yeah. So this is what we are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, continuing that plan of right sizing and inducting new technology, what kind of modernization roadmap are you looking for the three armed forces? Because you're also responsible for that under the DMA, the Department of Military Affairs.
So that would actually entail very many threats.
Yes.
But let me explain a simple manner, maybe equipping, how we look at equipping ourselves. Long back, not long back, till about 2-3 years back or till recently, when we would say that armed forces must have a mix of obsolete equipment, contemporary and futuristic niche equipment. So 40% could be old equipment that you should be able to fight, 30% should be contemporary, which you should be able, and 30% should be niche, state-of-the-art kind of equipment. That is one way to classify. I am looking at classifying it in a different manner. I am saying that today these are revolutions in military affairs. First revolution in military affairs was maneuver warfare.
Maneuver, yes.
The second was net-centric warfare. And right now we are at a cusp of third revolution in military affairs, convergence, or you could say intelligent or data-centric kind of warfare. So we could have and classify our equipment and a modernization by saying 60% of it will be, say, maneuver warfare, support maneuver warfare. 30% could be to support net-centric warfare. And 10% could be to support cognitive, intelligent, or which I said, the non-nuclear static deterrent, that kind of deterrent, that kind of warfare. That could be one. To do this, we are changing our procurement plans. So they are not getting derived out of ICDP, Integrated Capability Development Plan, which is a different method than what we are following earlier. We are also involving large number of ORSA studies to find out the right equipment in numbers and quantities for the requirement. Right. Especially I am doing it for equipment which is required for all the three services, say like helicopters, air defense equipment, missiles. So such kind of equipment we go through an ORSA study. Otherwise, we used to procure more than probably what we needed in a competitive kind of.
Would you explain to the audience ORSA what it means?
Operational Research and Scientific Analysis. It requires there's a special branch which looks at various tools to arrive at optimum number of things. Say suppose I were to say that I want to keep surveillance on western borders and I want to fly over say 10 bases and given the range of my UAVs is this, and this is the kind of surveillance I require. So it can be scientifically modeled based on your requirement that you want surveillance after every 1 hour, 5 hours, 10 hours during operations or peacetime, and come at an optimum number of what will be required. Otherwise, it was just a guesswork that I want 10, 5. No, it is based on a particular scientific analysis of this. So this is how we do it.
That's how you go about it. Given all this, that the planning that you're doing, modernization roadmap that is there, ICDP you spoke about, there is always this concern in many quarters which is expressed about the low budget, defense budget that we have. Or they would like it to be, a much higher percentage of the GDP. And we are just 1 month, less than 1 month away to the budget. What kind of budget do you envisage? I mean, ideal budget, of course, is not always possible, but budgeting, does it require some kind of tweak in spending, or does it require more fund allocation? If you can give your thoughts on that.
See, budgets, this is always considered a debate between a gun and butter. Always.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what do you want more? But if we play smartly, one can contribute to the other. The gun can contribute to the butter. Past 3 years, if you look at, most of our procurements we've done from domestic sources.
Sure.
Otherwise, this money was going outside. So in 23, almost 100% of our procurement orders from capital were taken out from Indian industry. And thereafter, about 80-85%. So, and again, so. Once we do that, we are paying 18% GST, which goes back to the government funds.
It goes to the kitty, the
Yeah,
government kitty.
and it helps generate employment, revenue. So many things are there. It helps industrialization. So a change of a strategy. So money spent on the gun is not money
Waste.
spent versus butter. It may contribute towards butter also. So that is one thing which we must realize. Fact of the matter is that only last year we were able to spend 100% of the money which was allotted for capital acquisition and procurements. For a couple of years back, we were not able to do it because of two main reasons. One is the procurement procedures were long, so it would not fructify in that particular year.
Right.
And second thing, we were not procuring so much from our domestic industry, and their capabilities were less. both of them have seen tremendous amount of change.
Changes.
Yeah, so incremental changes in our procurement procedures, our mindset, and now of course we'll revise our DAP
The
2020.
defense acquisition procedure.
Defense acquisition procedure. Defense procurement manual has already been
Already
revised.
out,
Yeah,
yes.
so that's already out. So that will put things on a faster track. And second thing is one was our procedures. The industry is also reacting in a faster kind
Faster
of manner.
manner.
So that also a good sign actually.
So you are happy with this Atmanirbharta drive that is there, or it needs much more improvement?
No, your first question is not fully answered.
Yes.
So, so presently the allocation of a budget is about just less than 2% of
Yes.
the GDP. So if my hypothesis, if the GDP continues to grow at about 8%, the inflation rate is low,
Low.
and we get 10% year-on-year increment,
Right.
the present modernization plan should go well, less for some high-ticket purchases which may require
Sure.
the deficiency. So maybe there will be a spike required immediately. Thereafter, it should stabilize.
And then
We
that
should-
anyway, the government has told you that whenever required, the money will be allocated.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why I think it should be all right if we
Right.
get about 2%.
Now, looking at our two adversaries, competitors, whatever you want to call it. I mean, one of the biggest challenges comes from the northern borders. We saw that between 2020 and 2024. How do you visualize the challenge from China? If currently India, China are on a kind of a thaw or a friendly trajectory. But do you see a challenge emanating from China as a big competitor, or it is going to be almost equal between the western border and the northern border?
Right now, I think this whole global geopolitics is in a big flux actually.
It is.
So what kind of challenges we'll face in future, we have to be prepared for every kind of a challenge. I can tell you about what's happening on the northern borders.
Okay.
So from October 24, when we had this agreement on this disengagement, from that time we've been able to patrol all our patrolling points. That has reinitiated some trust between us and them. At soldier to soldier level, corps commander, divisional commander level, there is contact with the Chinese, and it's positive. We all know that we have a mechanism, working mechanism for coordination.
Right.
That is also on. That's led by MEA, Ministry of External Affairs and Army. It's held in Beijing and Delhi. SR levels, special representative level talks, Mr. Doval's talks, that are also on.
Sure.
Kailash Mantrovar. So there's a bit of a thaw. So that's where we are, but we cannot discount anything. In this particular environment, I think challenges will be from.
And also, I think the improvement in infrastructure, in the capability on the northern borders have also really gone up in the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes, we've been able to operationalize all that was given to us in 11th and 12th plan.
Okay.
That's almost nearing completion. So your capabilities have enhanced manifold. You know, looking at challenges, you can't say that Western adversary or Northern adversary. Sometimes it is, we have to keep living in 3 states of past, present and future. All at the same time.
Sure.
So you can have Doklam, you can have Galwan, you can have Uri, Balakot, constantly.
And absolutely.
So
It's alternated between the two, actually.
So the only thing you can, which doesn't change or which we should be looking at is that there should not be a differential in technology or capabilities so much that, the other side has a cakewalk. So that we should be wary of, whether it is infrastructure or capabilities.
I think that's where the
But
thrust is.
otherwise, we should be prepared for
Any contingency.
any contingency, anytime.
Okay. And in that context, I think, if I remember correctly, after the last Combined Commanders Conference where the top military leadership of all 3 forces got together and the Prime Minister addressed it, others addressed it, there was one concept, one term that came out of there, and then you've spoken also about it after that, whole of nation approach. How does that work, whole of nation? I mean, earlier we used to say it is military's responsibility to look at the war or defense of the country. Just explain that whole of nation approach.
No, it means the armed forces don't fight wars. It's a nation which goes to war. The armed forces is the instrument which is up ahead. And when you talk about this, means we can talk it in the context of, say, Operation Sindoor, say,
Yes.
maybe, so we'll understand it.
Yeah.
So they had required a cooperation between the armed forces and the int agencies.
Right.
That was seamless. There was a requirement of cooperation between the armed forces and BSF, which was on the border.
Absolutely.
That was seamless. There was requirement of a cooperation between space segment, cyber, which is distributed in various capabilities in a nation. Right. Space is with ISRO. So that also was well coordinated.
Sure.
And this coordination is done largely at two levels, or rather three levels. One is NSA's level, the national agencies.
Sure.
He was able to coordinate that. So that is a good part. Three services, Chief of Staff Committee, CDS, that is one. And RM office and Raksha Mantri, getting all the secretaries with defense production, ex-servicemen welfare, notification that within few days, Operation Sindoor, Raksha Mantri gave. He gave emergency pass for procurement. We gave the army permission to mobilize territorial army units immediately, within 24 hours.
Right.
So all this, the Coast Guard were placed under command. So this is MOD's coordination,
Sure.
Ministry's coordination. And at the national level, I told you NSA, and between the three services. The big challenge over here is that we should know the capabilities of others. Then only can you ask a capability. If you don't know this capability of some other service, or say someone has a capability in say cyber, you come to know, don't know
Much
about
later.
it.
Oh, you
Much
don't know.
later.
How can you procure
Yes,
it, or how
yes.
can you
So that's the
requisition
challenge.
it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that has to be done in peacetime. You should be aware of who's doing what is their capability, so that during crisis, then you can.
So more
coordinate it.
dialogue, more coordination.
Yes.
Even internal security has to be dovetailed into all this.
So this is what
This is what has been done. Okay.
whole of government approach, or whatever you said.
Yeah, whole of nation, whole of government. That's what has been talked about. Before I open up to the audience, maybe one round of questions. One message to the industry. You spoke about how industry has played up, and Indian industry, domestic manufacturers are coming up. But if you have to leave one message for the industry at the end of all this, what would you advise them, or what would you suggest to them as far as bringing India's capability to a level where it acts as a deterrence?
So I'll take the reference from what you said about the Combined Commanders Conference and the Prime Minister's slogan. He gave the slogan of JAI. JAI, J for jointness, A for Atmanirbharta, and I for innovation.
Okay.
Jointness I have spoken about.
Yes.
And how we need to look at capability not only among the three services, but in the services and industry services and CAPF, DRDO and academia.
Right.
So that is jointness part. Atmanirbharta means there is no two way that the only way forward is to be self-reliant.
Absolutely.
And if you are reliant on something, it should be a QPQ kind of a thing. Someone else should also be relying on you.
Right.
You just can't be relying on outsiders. So this is the kind of world we are entering now.
Yes.
It's very, very important. And you have to be innovative, imaginative, inventive. This is an era where technology can change. So for this, actually, you'll have to keep thinking. So the scientific community, academia, young people like you who are here, or for part of MSMEs and industries, they need to look at it.
That's a great message, but I can't leave you without asking
in
about...
fact, Southern Army Commander is going to hold a seminar.
I see.
Called Jai Se Vijay.
Jai Se Vijay. Okay, that's a great slogan. But one final question from my side about theaterization. You've done jointness, you've done integration. So the big question in everybody's mind is, are we going to see theaterization, joint theatre commands being established, rolled out in the near future?
Certainly. This is one of my tasks. It is mandated in the government letter on allocation of business rules that he is supposed to create a CDS, is supposed to create jointness, integration leading to creation of integrated joint theatre commands. So that's part of my job,
Absolutely.
and I would say that we are almost there. Post Sindoor, with some lessons we wanted to get incorporated, because especially regarding higher defense organizations and our interaction with, so there are different kind of lessons. Means every time we were, I would say, innovative, or maybe like in Uri there was a separate set of way we function. In Balakot there's a separate manner we function. In Sindoor it was a different manner in which we function.
Right.
In Galwan it was different, in Doklam it was different. What could be a standard system which will work for all contingencies, especially? So I'm just giving you an example of the kind of things we are grappling with. Otherwise, most of the things we are done, and by and large, everyone is on board. Less these little issues. And whenever we say that there are some issues to be resolved with some service or the other, it's not there's a difference between this concept. Every service is working out from a nationalistic viewpoint that they are best suited to actually deter or take care of a particular threat. It is from that this thing he is saying that no, we want to do it like this. It's not because he is against this particular concept.
So nobody
we all want
against
to
the
fight
concept.
better.
Yeah.
And that's the message actually. So in that there could be some differences as to how do we want to rearrange ourselves.
Sure. So
And there of course we have to take everyone on board and take everyone's view.
I got it. Yeah. So you want to put a timeline to it?
Government has given me extension till 30th of May.
Okay.
We'll try and do it before this.
That's it. So that you have a very clear articulation on theatre command. I'll just take 3 questions because we have very little time. So from young people here, one of course, one gentleman here, one there, and one here. These 3.
Hello, good evening, sir. My name is Shreyas. I'm a student here of Geopolitics and Geoeconomics. Sir, my question is that what is the defense forces doing on the misinformation and disinformation campaign that we saw during the Operation Sindoor, like the fake video of Karachi port being attacked, and then of course also the army had to release a notice that please don't release the troop movements or put it on social media where the troops are going through. Some of the videos were launched, released in the social media apps, and that had to be informed to the citizens. So what is the defense forces doing?
You want to take it one by one or take 3 and then do? Yeah? Second one. There. Yeah. No, here. Yeah.
Jain sir, my name is Vansh Manoj Shah. Sir, my question was, as you recently discussed that about cyber and space warfare, so how is Indian Armed Forces ready for cyber and space warfare in future? And what is the role of AI it will play for defense forces?
Okay. One final one there. There.
Yeah, hi, good evening. My name is Abdul Kareem, and my question is fairly simple. Do you use an Android or an iPhone?
Okay, I think that's a non-serious question. But yeah, over to you about misinformation, disinformation first, and then space and cyber.
So I'm so happy actually. Both these questions actually relate to the domain which fall under headquarter ideas and
Which you mentioned, cognitive warfare.
Yes,
and
cognitive warfare. So we are working. One of the deficiencies noticed during Operation Sindoor was this, that we didn't have a system in place where we could counter fake news. That is not only in social media but also in electronic media. So now we are putting in place a system in which we will be able to counter it, and this will be refuted at best not real time but near real time. So the correct news should be available to the citizens of the country. Because this has to be collected, if you know, from a number of geographical locations within India. So there are a number of news that Adampur is under attack, or Nagrota beheading has taken place, or pilots have been captured here. Most of them were fake actually. And so we should be able to put some mechanism in place for this in future. As regard
AI, use of AI in space
AI.
and cyber.
Space is concerned, you are aware that in space the abilities that provides us are ISR, communication and PNT. These are the three services which are essential for fighting for any kind of an armed forces. So we need to enhance these particular capabilities. Communication, did I mention communication also? So today, other than terrestrial, space communication is also important. So these are the three things in which the armed forces are working to enhance their capabilities. Artificial intelligence is another field which will lead to intelligentization of warfare in future. And this of course relates to data collection and their real-time analysis. So this could be used not only for operations, it could also be used for maintenance or for HR duties, human resource development. Three things. So I won't say we've made some basic structure as for data collection, what kind of a data, how do we want to collect the data, how we want to use it in future. So as and well the country develops a language model, we'll use that and try and apply that for bringing about efficiency. This will actually help us in taking faster and smarter decisions than the adversary. And most probably the possibility of the decisions to be correct would be higher. Otherwise it's just based on my understanding and my knowledge. So that particular part will get removed.
So AI is going to be a very useful tool going forward.
Yes.
That's right. So on that note, I must end this conversation and thank CDS General Anil Chauhan for his very candid views and interaction that he presented here. I think he deserves a thunderous round of applause actually.
Nitin ji, may I please request to present the customary stone to our esteemed guest?
Sure.